This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 415. Do you really have to practice new habits every day for them to stick? By Kalen Bruce of MoneyMiniBlog.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the old podcast. That's the OLD podcast, Optimal Living Daily, where I simply read to you. And Optimal Living Daily is actually a network of 4 shows where we read from a ton of amazing blogs so that you can give your eyes a break and listen on the go. And today's post comes from Kalen Bruce, all about habits. And this post isn't actually what I expected he'd say, and I like it when I'm surprised, so I thought you'd enjoy this post too. So with that, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Do you really have to practice new habits every day for them to stick? By Kalen Bruce of MoneyMiniBlog.com. Every time I read about creating new habits, the term daily habits always pops up. You probably heard it before. You must do this habit every day to make it stick. Your new habit should be a daily practice. I always had the question, does that really mean every single day, even weekends and holidays? I finally figured out the best way to approach new daily habits. Let me share what I've learned. Daily, but tiny. The short answer to the question behind the entire article is yes. If you want a new habit to really stick, it needs to become a habit you practice every single day, weekends and holidays included. You should even stick with it on vacations. I know all of my UK friends are thinking, on vacation, you already mentioned holidays. It may seem overwhelming and possibly even undesirable to consider practicing a habit every single day of your life. If this is the case, your habit is too big. The first step when creating a new habit is to make it small enough to be able to do it every day without interrupting your life significantly. If you can't accomplish your habit on those days when your dog is sick, your kid has soccer practice, and your in-laws just showed up for a surprise visit, your habit is not small enough. If you have a million things going on, your habit should be small enough to be the 1 million and first thing. Here are some examples of how small your habit may need to be when you're first starting out. Reading 1 page each day. Writing 50 words each day. Running 1 minute each day. Calisthenics 5 reps each day. Seems too small, doesn't it? It's not. Let me tell you why. Tiny habit, large time slot. I'm sure you realize that reading 1 page a day won't equate to much over time. That's why you schedule more time to read your 1 page than you need. If I schedule 15 minutes to read 1 page, it's likely that I'll be able to read much more, at least 2 pages, right? The beauty of it all is that even if you really do only have time for 1 page or 1 minute, that's all you have to do. That's the habit. If I schedule a 1 minute run every day, I'll make sure to schedule at least 30 minutes for that 1 minute run on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So those 3 days are my real running days, but all that is required is still just the 1 minute. Once I put on my running shoes and head out the door, I can usually do more than a minute on the other days too. And anything over a minute is a bonus. Increasing the habit. If you read How to Create Good Habits and actually stick with them, and How to Create a New Habit even if you're too busy, you might remember that the key of creating new habits isn't just starting small, it's also gradually increasing the habit. You should be increasing your habit gradually, but you don't have to increase your everyday habit. You build onto your daily habit insofar as it makes sense for your schedule. Your goal may be to run for 1 hour, 3 days a week. So that means you should set aside an hour a few of the days each week to complete your small habit. You'll always be running for 1 minute per day, but you should be gradually increasing to run more on your running days. What does that look like? Week 1, you run for 1 minute each day. Week 2, you increase to 2 minutes per day on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but you still continue to do 1 minute on the other days. You'll be building up your 3 times per week run while maintaining the habit by just a minute each day. Once the habit of running 3 times each week sticks, you can get rid of the other days as long as you stay disciplined. You may have heard me talk about identity-based habits before. That's what this is all about. Becoming a daily reader, writer, or runner, or a financial expert 1 day at a time. Eventually, you may be running 5 or 10 miles several times each week, but we're not there yet. I know you're not going to read 1 million books by taking in 1 page a day, but you will become a daily reader. And that's the type of habit that will stick. There's always time to grow your habit. The important thing is starting it. And too often people don't grow their habits because they never get started. If you practice a habit every day, it will become an identity-based habit. You'll become a daily reader, a financial expert, a runner, a weightlifter, etc. The most important thing. Nothing is more important than persistence. What happens if you miss your habit for some reason? Absolutely nothing. You just pick up where you left off. You're supposed to be practicing your new habit every day, but you're not a failure if you miss it. Maybe you forgot, or you were sick, or you were too busy to make an excuse of why you couldn't do it, so you didn't have time to actually do it. The point is that if you mess up, keep going. A daily habit is the goal. You're on your way, but there will be setbacks since we're dealing with life here. Identify yourself with your new habit. You just listened to the post titled, "Do You Really Have to Practice New Habits Every Day for Them to Stick?" by Kalen Bruce of MoneyMiniBlog.com. And I kind of read that for my own selfish reasons because I needed to hear it. If you're anything like me, then habits are not easy to start for you. For me, I'm very all or nothing, like with this podcast, for example. I don't want to miss an episode, so I'll do whatever it takes to have the episode go live, even if it means recording the intro and outro while I'm sick in bed. I've done that before. And then using recorded material from an audiobook for the majority of the content. Or like the day I found out that my cat was killed by a coyote, I didn't have an episode ready, so I had to record the intro and outro for that on the same day because I don't want to miss a day because I'm very all or nothing. But this does not work at all for things like exercise because I'll end up getting sick, which is not surprising. And then I physically can't exercise. And then since I'm all or nothing, I end up quitting. So yeah, that last part about the most important thing being to keep going, even if you miss a day and picking up wherever you left off, that's really, really important. And I needed to hear that myself. So hopefully that was helpful for you too. All right, this is getting long. So all I'll say is for more info about this podcast and my other podcasts and to join the mailing list for free spreadsheets and book giveaways and to help support the show, all that stuff, just come by oldpodcast.com. And by the way, there is a book giveaway coming up in just a couple of days, so you need to be on the mailing list before February 1st if you want to be in that raffle. I'll be back tomorrow for Minimalist Monday, so I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.